What's good, everybody? It's PR Corey here again. As you can see by the title, we got something very simple and sweet. It's called ley lines versus ley lines, okay? And I wanted to make this video so that we can discreetly here on 45 Degree Discovery channel explain what the real ley lines are and why the flat earth azimuthal equidistant map is not displaying the ley lines, okay? Or ley circles. Just one moment and I'll be back. Okay. Now, when it comes down to the ley lines, I want people to realize something. And I'm going to go to the internet as well and pull up the definition of ley lines as well, what ley lines are. Some people out there who watch this video in the future may not actually know what they are. Just one second. Okay, ley lines are straight alignments drawn between various historic structures and prominent landmarks. Okay, do you see this? Straight alignments. Straight alignments. Yeah, I need to realize that ley lines are straight alignments. That is so important. Straight alignments. I was trying to even look up pictures of it for you. But as you can see here, you got straight alignment. Oh, that's crazy. Look at this here. This is the Nazca lines, and I wasn't even looking for that. It says the old straight track Nazca lines, ley line, Stonehenge alignment. So anyway, alignments have to deal with lines, okay? That's simple and plain. That's easy to comprehend. Ley lines have to deal with lines, L-I-N-E-S. But what are ley lines? Going back to the definition of it. Ley lines are straight alignments drawn between various historic structures and prominent landmarks. Does it say, let me go to the AE map, AE map. Y'all need to really pay attention to what I'm saying because I don't think that people get it. I'm going to go back and read this again. Ley lines are straight alignments drawn between various historic structures and prominent landmarks, okay? I realize what I just said. I'm going to repeat it one more time because I really don't think y'all get it. Ley lines are straight alignments drawn between various historic structures and prominent landmarks. I don't have to read it anymore. This is the AE map. Note you, how has it been explained by your teachers, your master teacher out here, all right? I want to be able to talk clear and clean and explain it how I want to explain it without being cut off, without my mic being muted, anything like that happening ever. And that's why I'm doing this like I'm doing this. Because as long as I'm speaking the facts, to me, in my opinion, that's all that matters. And really based on facts, that's all that matters. Because what am I going to sit up and argue with somebody for who just can only make up stuff? Once you got the truth, the other party can only make up stuff at that point. Because that's exactly what's going on when that party says that these lines right here, the same lines that he says that you can't create circles, that's what's on this map. And these, he's explained, are time zone sections and energy lines of the earth. These are not time zones. Time zone sections, I'll give you that. But energy lines of the earth, no, sir. No, sir. These are not straight lines. These are circles right here. These are circles, and these are not going directly to any ancient monuments. That's why they just showed the Nazca lines like they did, which is something that Master Teacher is not even privy to. Don't ask me how I know. I've explained in the past videos here recently a couple ways how I know. It's very simple. If you don't know that Nazca was even a city, and you had to ask me that on the panel, on your panel at that, that lets me know enough, and should let everybody else with common sense know that as a cosmologist, you don't know about the Nazca lines. You haven't studied the Nazca lines because you don't even know that it's a city. That's basic knowledge. So you got the AE map, and these are not lines. These are circles being made right here, okay? This is the same person who tried to explain that a chessboard is not really squares, it's circles. That's silly. That's absolutely silly. A chessboard is square, period, point blank. If it's circles, then it's going to be circles. That's what common sense. Anybody with common sense knows that and can see that. So you got the AE map right there. And it says right here the definition of ley lines are straight alignments drawn between various historic structures and prominent landmarks. Okay, though, that's what you see with stuff right here, like they're trying to explain. That's what you see with stuff like this right here. Now, that's why you don't just go to Wikipedia, because we also know that they are energy lines. That's the first thing that we pulling up right there. An imaginary line between some important places such as hills believed to be where there are very old paths. To those who do believe, it's something that people believe in, that it's how it's actually being explained. Ley lines refer to the straight lines found on the map. These lines, straight lines, man, not curves, not circles, found on the map. These lines are prominent between landmarks and historical structures. Okay, that's just without having to click into these websites all. But see, when you use a globe, you by default have to make circles as well. That's what people have to realize. Curves at that, if not circles, curves. Okay. Who invented ley lines? Alfred Watkins put forth the idea of straight tracks that he later termed as ley lines in his book. That's what I was telling y'all at first with the Nazca lines. Them was tracking, and if anywhere on the earth, they're not the only place, because you got other places as well that's even in South America that's got lines and markings that look just like the Nazca lines. But if you are claiming a cosmologist and even talking about the ley lines, you can't be pulling up some AE map and explaining them and saying that they the ley lines, teaching people that. Like that's not facts. Though, that's why I was saying on an AE map, there has been no flat earther out here who has taken the AE map that I've seen and lined up all of the ancient monuments, just like you see this done right here on this globe, or so-called flat or stretched out one, oblate spheroid thing. This that you see right here, golly, this one right here, or maybe this one, yeah, something like this right here. These lines, and see, these are straight lines that make a curve. You can see the straight thing that they have going on there. But this is wrapped around the globe, like I was saying, or oblate spheroid. There has been no point where I've seen a flat earther do all of this. Just this simple work as far as putting the plot on Egypt. You know that's a major site as far as the Great Pyramids, regardless of what people, that's a major site as far as energy, as far as the Great Pyramid right there. You don't understand how much energy is in this. Like how most of the Earth is quartz, quartz crystals. The Earth's crust is quartz. The gram percentage of it. Quartz is also sand. Well, think about what the Sahara Desert is. So I mean, when you talk about quartz in the Sahara Desert, all of that sand that's out there, it's a lot of quartz in that within itself. Um, it's a lot of energy out there. So don't be you can be mistaken if you want to. Um, a lot of these lands is sacred in these sites and everything, but I've seen no flat earther just do this on the AE map, just marking these. I mean, on any map, marking the energy line, the so-called energy lines that y'all really say, because they don't look anything like y'all are talking about. You can go outside with dowsing rods and go find so-called lines of energy and trace them. You can literally use dowsing rods for that, but they ain't gonna line up with what the AE map is being shown or explained by a teacher. So that's a lie that's being explained right there. That's not me sitting up here. See, I can't find that anywhere. No flat Earth. So I mean, do the work at least. If you're gonna talk about it, do the work. And if you're gonna talk about it, at least be correct. Don't be teaching people false stuff out here. Is all that I'm saying. It ain't like I'm teaching the false stuff, and when it comes down to it, it ain't like I ain't got the right to talk. That's where people got to stretch their neck out as much as they stretch out their tongue to talk. Stretch their neck out and look, just like they look for other teachers. Look for other information from other people because it ain't gonna come from one person. You got other talented people out here. You got other intelligent people out here, such as myself. And I ain't gotta go to nobody channel, and it ain't like I'm gonna go to everybody channel. This is the same thing that got pulled up earlier. It ain't like I'm gonna go to everybody channel and go, hey y'all, and go post my stuff on their channel. Go post my stuff on their channel. That's not what your boy gonna be doing, man. Period, point blank. I'm actually doing work over here. And when it come down to coming to anybody channel, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I've actually taught something that ain't nobody else taught. And that goes for everybody. I've taught the whole world something that ain't nobody else know. Literally. And I'm not being cocky by saying that. Tell me where I ain't, and somebody prove to me how I or where I have not. Because exactly what I'm drawing out when it comes to the ley lines and everything, these Nazca lines and everything that you see in front of you as far as ley lines and the whole earth, the energy grid and everything, that's exactly what I've been drawing out. I'll go to my work just briefly. Uh, so this is just one section right here. This is the top number 5 that'll be at the top up here. And I'm gonna finish this and I'll be done. So this is just the top that's up here. And if you could consider this whole full project that's going to be finished, which would be 1-0, like you see this 0 right here. The full project is just going to be all of those numbers, but just one big old 0. And so that'll be the Earth. That'll be 1/4, like you have a quarter moon. And we only see, one side of it. That's why they call half moon a quarter moon, because we don't see the other half already. So whenever we see the half side of it, that means we really seeing a quarter of it, because we already don't see half of it. So it's really only that quarter that's showing that we consider half from our perspective. So anyway, whenever this whole thing is done, everywhere that you see a number, the same number, if you drew a line to all of them, you know, that would all make like crazy lines going everywhere, like five, all of the fives to line up to each other in the center, because this is a number five in the center. All of them drawn to the center would make a line. All of the ones drawn to each other as energy will make a line. So if you think about that and what I just showed with the Nazca lines, is something to consider. But I would have to draw that out for people to comprehend it better. But better to say, when it comes down to the actual essence of the lines themselves and uh, the energy lines and the ley lines, if you take the pyramids themselves and the fact that they have north faces, and you consider these are continents, and this is like the DNA energy that built the earth, and this is like a mini earth, and this was blue back here. If you took and considered a chessboard, let's act like let's act like the earth is a game board, and let's act like the Great Pyramids themselves are some chess pieces, but they just pyramids instead. You take those pyramids, and based on knowing this energy grid that I have here, this based on divine mathematics, that all of them come back to. Mind you, the so-called speed of light is encrypted within the pyramids themselves. That ain't by chance. That mathematics, because see, that math all come back down to the decimal code. And the decimal code itself, the fact that stuff comes back to it, that's what this is right here. This right here is the very decimal code. When we talk about light and how light travels, speed of light, all of that, this is like looking into it. Everything here spirals inward, outward, all of that. So you would take the Great Pyramids as you would keep on zooming in based on the fact that this is all a fractal code. You would continue to zoom in and zoom in and zoom in and zoom in until you got to the correct alignment to where you could line it up with north, like it is actually lined up with north. And you would just build the Great Pyramid based on this, because everything as you zoomed in, it would all be the same exact code that you see right here as you kept on zooming in. And so you would build the pyramid in the center. And when you look at that Nazca, Estrella, Sun Star, it should be in here. That's a better picture down there, actually. So that's what I'm see. It's the actual circle that's outside of the center of it. That's right here, and it's another one too. You just can't really see it, and for whatever reason, they ain't on this one. They ain't got it done. So this is where I'm telling folks when it come down to remote viewing, which is something I've been mentioning in people chat that ain't nobody even talked about yet. Remote viewing. So ain't no one person got all of the answers, but it's also every man gonna move different. Every man gonna be, one man might be more organized than the next. One man might be uh more strong than the next. You know, every man gonna move different, and really everybody gonna have their different strengths and weaknesses. It's called diversity. At the end of the day, it's just silly for us to really, chastise each other for the different diversities. And also people be jealous plain as day of each other, and people be acting like they don't see it, just because certain people got notoriety and stuff like that. If you ask me, numbers don't have anything to do with respect, because numbers can change overnight. And these numbers really don't mean nothing at the end of the day. They're really an illusion. Because at the end of the day, whenever YouTube goes down, they're seeing that y'all be the same people who sitting up here saying the respect up here on YouTube is really, respect period is based on the numbers that you got. Because if you say that about YouTube, you also saying the same about money out here. Because YouTube, the subscribers ain't nothing but Money. That's all it is. That's where you get your money from. So based on that logic, if the amount of subscribers you got, dictates how much respect you got and everything out here, that's no different than the case of this, soul selling that we got with people out here. And it's just backwards logic at the end of the day. It just doesn't make sense at all. I had actually thought I lost my train of thought for a quick second, but I had something. I was saying that for something very important, but I don't mean to cough like that. But yeah, man, it's like everybody got different strengths. I got my own strengths, and other people got their strengths as well. I ain't The thing is, when somebody wrong, they wrong. The thing, point out where I'm wrong. That's all I'm saying. Where can anyone point out where I am wrong? Because I'm able to point out, and I wouldn't care if it's from the chat. If it would be from the chat, I would address it from the chat. I would talk to that person from the chat. I don't care if it's from the chat, and I also don't care if it was on the panel. It don't matter. The thing is, I look at how people act. That's the reason that I act how I act. All I do is react to how other people act. And I know jealousy when I see it at the end of the day. To I ain't even gotta say ain't nobody doing it, like, because at the end of the day, this is old work right here. But the Nazca lines, this is where I've been telling people about remote viewing. When you talk about astral projection, remote viewing is on a whole nother level. Remote viewing is, astral projection and everything. That's like the beginning stages of remote viewing. You get a super advanced when you start being able to remote view, man. See, the thing is that people got to realize what's going on. What y'all consider an astral projection, if y'all was really astral projecting and everything, y'all will be able to move things. You know what I'm saying? Try to test that, since y'all act like it's so real, because this is my thing. This is why I tell y'all dreams and everything. It's all in the mind, man. And when you get really powerful at it, I'm guessing that you could get out of body and everything and actually manipulate stuff. Because think about it. If you was just standing right in front of a table and there was a cup sitting right on top of the table, and you had two other people in there to witness it, and you told them that you could go out of body, if you could lift your spirit right out of your body and grab that cup, they wouldn't be able to see your spirit grab that cup, because they can't see your spirit, because the spirit is supposed to be, at least in certain conditions, unless you're trying to do it or something, enlightens it or something like that. Not supposed to be able to see it. So if you saw that cup move by default, people would think, if nobody said anything at all, and the average person, nobody even said anything, the average person would look at that and say, the person that can do the out of body thing, at least they could tell the other two, I can move this thing. They could also tell them people, I can move this thing with my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So this astral projection thing is, at least that I've been thinking about or knowing about. It's something that I've done before. And I actually got to be discreet with how much I even say as far as this uh, internet when it comes to the my work that's right here. No games. You think that's right there for no reason, bro? This is just another geoglyph right here that's just plain as day that nobody, since we talk about sacred geometry and all of this, I had already showed this on the show before, but you can't argue with this. Ain't it almost like somebody went out there who knew what they was doing, and they remote viewed, they was astral projection and did that? Because that's what I'm telling y'all. When y'all up here talking about what the ancestors was doing, what they was able to see, all of this different type of stuff, this is how they was able to draw out and do what they did as well, man. When y'all talking about them meditating and going out of body, astral projecting, floating, and things like that. Yeah. The Nazca lines. This stuff been sitting out there. And you know what? I also had a very enlightening thought about the lines as well. Guess what? This is the thing about it. See, what some people might question about it, and this is very revealing too. This is very important. I mean, extremely important when it comes to the lines. Because a lot of people question this, whether the lines are real or not, whether there's something that's real as in recent. This is the thing that I thought about, and it about brought tears in my eyes. Thing is, I told people that the reason that happened to me is spiritually, as a spiritual person. Sometimes when I spiritually realize something and feel something, almost like onions. When you get around the onion, some real ripe onion, it'll make your eyes. Some people, if they're sensitive to it, tear up. I get around some real ripe, divine knowledge that come to my brain, and sometimes spiritually, I get that feeling. Likewise, so what I thought about was the fact that these lines been out there, is what they saying, since before BC. A lot of them, the Nazca lines and the Nazca Astraeus, the stars that you see right here. They saying these been out there for thousands of years, at least, right? And a lot of people say it's either, and it got to be either or. It's either they've been out there thousands of years, or they're recent doings. So this is the thing. If they was recent doings, let's say that they was recent doings, and we gave people that. Don't you realize that that's communicating something? That they communicated something to some. What's the purpose in going back out there and doing this for? What's the purpose in going back over there over and over and over again to redo this? It just wouldn't make sense unless they was trying to communicate something to somebody. And from what I'm realizing, and that's why that's the main question that they ask too as well. Who is it for? I'm sitting up here with it right in front of people's face. Don't y'all realize all of the measurements come back to be the same exact measurements, that y'all same numbers? I mean, from even the numbers outside of the 9. I mean, I did that on here with people. 28, 56, 112. That's the doubling aspect. That's how many squares you got right here. If you count all of those, you got 112. When we was watching the Nazca video, they had circles, concentric circles out there, just like you got right here in this. They make it on the Nazca thing. They got concentric circles, just like this crop circle that niggas say, all is man-made and everything. They communicated something, bro. This is the same thing that you see in Nazca. This the Nazca Astraea right here. They wouldn't just make this for no reason. So they communicating something. This ain't just for nothing, bro. And my work shows that. So that's why I say niggas be shortcoming themselves. And if they say that these mean nothing, then you saying that my work mean nothing. But they'll be making themselves look silly, because how come when I get on niggas panels, anytime that I have with my work, they can't debate it. And whenever I do try to show it, that's where I felt the jealousy thing, because they either try to say you just trying to show your work and all of this type of stuff. So and then if you don't show your work, you be like, if you get up here, that's your responsibility, is come up here and shout out your own channel and show your work and everything. It's just so flip-flopping. That's why I don't waste my time. But what I do got the right to do is be in the chat. I can be in the chat as much as I want to. That's why niggas don't get that. They think that you scared. But I'm the one who got the information that'll knock niggas out of their water. I mean, knock niggas out on their ass, and niggas really just be talking and running their mouth. And I'm just being real, and I be being cool about it. I could really be very, very, very cocky about my work. How so? Because niggas is sitting up here telling you that the ley lines, that the freaking this is what I was saying about the concentric circles right here. You got these concentric circles on the ley lines. They just outline the drawing from the real land. They got these concentric circles like that you see right here. This is exactly what I'm talking about, man. If you did that within my work, those concentric circles that we show within that video the diameter measurements of them all came out to be 28, 56, and 112, which is the number of all of these added together, the number of squares perfectly. You can't make that up. So 28 is also the number of grams that's in an ounce. So when you hear tetragrammaton, that word tetragrammaton, gram is within that, but also you have ton. Ton is tone, the tone of something like sound, but it's also a weight, ton, which is 1,000. Every single one of these that y'all see me have right here that I've drawn out has every big square. When you count it all out, it comes out to be 1,000. Every single one of them. 1,000 on top and 1,000 negative. 1,000 positive. The top where the pyramid is at is positive. The negative is the delta downwards. Okay. And everything, when you look at it, when you look at the how these numbers and everything, how I have them structured. When I go back, hold on, please. I'll just click on this one. Like it take a really serious goof. It take a real serious goof to sit up and act like I'm just running my mouth, to be honest. When I'm showing my own work, whose else work is this immaculate? You talk about not having this in it. This looked like a computer did this, but no, I did all of this with my own hand. I'm not even talking about just the quality, but look at this. Now, what I'm explaining about my own work, let's just act like all of this right here, this 0 right here, for instance, or I want to go up here to the top. I don't like the negative on the bottom. I don't like the underworld. This is the 0 on top. So this is the earth. This is the one I'm literally drawing out. Okay. So this up here in the daytime, whenever the day starts for you, it's daytime really for you. If we act like, just pay attention to fully this circle. I ain't gonna even explain it like that. Look here. At the end of the day, the sun moves this way. We know that we witnessed that. We witnessed the sun go from left to right, like we read from where we stand at. But it also depends on which side of the sun you're on. Because if you're south of the equator or south of it, then it's not going to be the same story for you necessarily. If it's south of you, it's going to flip for you. You know what I mean? And that's where that whole thing comes in with the whole flat earth and globe earth, when they get to explain in the southern hemisphere and how this all works out for a flat earth. You know what I'm saying? The sun and how it's come, right to left, that whole thing being explained. Because either way it goes, it'll be the same thing. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that right there. But right here in the center, you will have the concentric circles. You will make your circle right here in the center, and you will have another circle where 3 and 6 is at. That's 360 right there. All right, and then you got another circle that you will have at the final one is at 7 and 2. 7 and 2 is where that circle is at. Like I was explaining to y'all, every time you take 360 and you divide it, every time that you take 360 and you divide it by 2, this is what happens. 360 divided by 2 equals 180. 180 divided by 2 equals 90. 90 divided by 2 equals 45. 45 divided by 2 equals, hold on, man, I'm having a trip out. 22.5. 22.5. That's your 4.5 right there. 2 plus 2.5. Half of 22.5 equals 11.25. Okay. Am I correct? Yes, I am. Tripping right now, man. But yeah, 11.25. And the thing is, when you keep on doing this, the last 2 digits continue to be 25. 25 is 1/4, 1/4. Okay. The last 2 digits is 25. 2 plus 5 equals 7. Like I just said, 1/4. So 2 plus 5 equals 7. So you got 2 and 7 right here. And then, like I said, it was 11.25. So you got 11, which equals 2. 2 and then 0.25. And if you kept on doing that, basically y'all can use y'all calculator and everything and see the rest of yourself. Matter of fact, I got one right here. I can, because right now the weed got me the strain at least that I'm on. It's an indica strain. It ain't nothing that it ain't nothing made for fast thinking right now, at least at this stage. Um, 11.25 divided by 2 equals 5.625 is what you get next. When you divide 11.25 into, you get 5.6. And then when you do, mind you, the last two digits is 25. But 5 and 6, if you add those together, you get 11. 11 equals 2. Okay, so you got 25, which equals 7. 2 and 5 equals 7. The last two digits, and the other ones, when you add the rest of them up, always gonna equal 2. Okay, so you got 2 and then 7. This is all coming from 360. We started off with 360, so we continue divided by 2, and we get 2.8125. The last two digits is 25 still. 2.8125. 2 and 5 equals 7, which is what we got, and then we got 2.81. 2.8 equals 10. 2 and 8 equals 10, and then 1 equals 11. So you got 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So you got 2, and then you got 7. Again, we're going to divide it by 2. And we get 1.40625. So the last two digits is 25. All right. Y'all can use y'all's own calculator to check this. I'm not just high and tripping. You can check this for your own selves, or you might be doing it in real time as we speak and later on in the stream. You can go ahead and do that yourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's all correct. 1.406, and then 25 is the last two digits. Okay. 1 plus 4 equals 5. 6 plus 5 equals 11. Again. So 11 equals 2. Simple. So we got 2 and 7. Let me see if this got enough room. I don't think it do. Divided by 2 again, and we get, all right, we do got enough room. We got 0.703125. So the last two digits is 25, and we got 0.703125. So the 25 is 7, as we keep on having, which is the constant. And we got so that's what I'm gonna call that. The 25, that quarter, is constant. That's a constant. And that's what I keep on telling y'all about the quarter, because everything here is divided in quarters. 1/4. It's all based on 1/4. 1 plus 4 equals 5. Okay, so like I was saying, 0.703125. 7 plus 0 plus 3 plus 1 equals 11. I'm just acting slow for y'all so y'all can get it. So y'all can't say I missed nothing. I ain't moving too fast, because this is easy stuff, man. It's 11. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay. 2 and 7, bro. Plain as day. So this is something that's constant, and that's basically where it continues to go, actually, I think. But dang, it actually does. Okay, so the last two digits again is 2 and 5. But now we got 0.35156, and then 2 and 5. So if we add 3 plus 5, we get 8. 8 plus 1, we get 5. I mean, hold on, my bad. We got 3, 5. All right, I'm going to repeat the number one more time. The last two digits is 2 and 5, which we know is the constant, which is 7. The other digits are 0.35156. And then we got 2 and 5, which is the constant, 7. All right, so now 0.35156. 3 and 5 equals 8. 8 plus 1 equals 9. 9 plus 5 equals 14. 14 plus 6 equals 20. 2 plus 0 equals 2. So we got 2 again on the side of the decimal. Mind you that this is the decimal right here. So we got the decimal. We playing with it. This is what I'm telling y'all, man, because everything is based on the center. We got 7 right here, and then we got the decimal, which is this line being made. All of these is 4 and 5. Or actually, this is 0 and 9 right here, actually. If I go to the center of my work, because see, the I would be right here, but zero, it'll be blue 0 and 9s right here. That's what these squares would be. So see, this is where I'm telling y'all, it's a real deal fractal code. When we talk about numbers, it's something on a level that people ain't thought about. This ain't nothing to play with, bro. That I'm telling y'all, bro. This literally ain't nothing to play with, bro. That's in front of y'all. I'm not even playing. Like I'm not able to show this, and it linked with so much stuff, and it's so immaculate just for no reason. All right, because that's 2, and then I'm telling y'all, this is the decimal right here. If I zoom out, everything come out to be in the center. Even if you count it from up here, 0, 1, 2, and up here would be 3, and then 4, and then 4.5. 4.5. That's the decimal, is the halfway point. 4.5, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4.5 is just the teleportation. 0 and 9. So whenever y'all say 0 don't have an opposite or nothing has a, that's where you as a person, you are the walking 4.5. That's what I'm showing y'all. You got 14 phalanges. 1 plus 4 equals 5. You got 4 fingers, and you got 1 finger that's different than all of them, but it's the controller. So you got 4 fingers plus 1 controlling finger, which you couldn't live without. I mean, you could live without it, but it's going to be very inconvenient without your thumb, without your big toe. Okay. 4 plus 1 equals 5. 4 and 5. Simple math. You got 4 limbs as a human being. You got 4 limbs. You got 1 arm, 1 leg, and 1 leg. That's 4. But if you didn't have your head, which is the controlling factor, 4 plus 1 equals 5. You are a star. You're literally a star, the tetragrammaton. You're literally a star if you hold your arms out. That's what I was showing y'all with the Vitruvian man. Man, the etymology of man is very much similar to moon. M-O-O-N. When you think M-O-O-N and moon, that's why I was showing y'all what I was showing. But then you got guys who sneak watch my channel and want to diss me and everything because they really hating on my knowledge and everything. They want to go off and say, Vitruvian man because he white and all of this type of stuff. What does his race really got to do with the knowledge? That's where we got a problem at. Just because it was a white man that created that? That's funny. So what, different people from different cultures can't have the same knowledge come back to the same roots? That's fucked up. If you ask me, if they can't just have their own version. Everything ain't just stolen. Just like this right here ain't stolen at all. Period, point blank. Not one of you niggas can show me where this has been done at exactly this drawing. And this is just 1/28 of what, man, this ain't even half of it. But this a whole bunch of work that you niggas ain't ever even did, and ain't nobody on the earth got even this. This is going to be in a museum and you niggas sitting up here playing, bro. What I'm telling y'all is that when this whole thing is done, that would be the earth. But if you play with it and you talk about the real ley lines, and this ain't even playing, but you know how you got those things, I think they're called dioramas or something like that. I can't remember what they're really called, but it's a lot of business places that have them. And they'll have these tables, right? And on these, I have this scale model of cities, right? Cities and buildings that they're going to build. Architects do it a lot sometimes too. They'll have these scale buildings where you can see the size of the city from like a God type view. And that's what I'm showing y'all. This is like the energy grid, the underlying DNA grid of the earth. Everything is based on the square. That's what y'all ain't realizing about the square. This man was saying based on the circle and stuff, the ley line is really ley. 1 minute you saying you can't make circles of ley lines. It's called ley lines for a reason. It's exactly what you were saying, sir. Ley, it's called ley. Okay, right? And then on one end, you want to turn around and you want to say that they circles now? Preposterous. That's silly within itself. That don't even make sense. So what I'm telling you is that simplicity, this is just one section of it, one piece of the whole entire earth. Like I say, when this whole project is done, it's the whole earth. But take you a little chess piece, created and molded to the exact size to fit inside of one of these squares I zoom into on this grid and make it shaped exactly like the Great Pyramid. Boom. You now have the ley lines, the true ley, exactly what the Nazca lines were showing you. And that's why the Nazca lines align with Machu Picchu, which he also doesn't talk about, which is way more harder and way more advanced and actually shows that humans could not have built that. It shows it's beyond human intelligence that's here on this earth or that has existed in the past. Machu Picchu proves that. What's also not talked about is that all ancient cultures did speak of some form of aliens, some form of weird. They have, when we talk about stuff painted on walls and carved on walls, that's one thing that's also common with all of them. So we could talk about aliens not being real as much as we want to. I ain't saying that the little green man is like y'all like to pass around and joke about is real. But what I am going to tell y'all is that higher beings, higher intelligence that exists on this earth, if you think it ain't real, if you think it ends with us humans, that's exactly why we the problem now. That's exactly why we the problem now. That's exactly why the earth is where it's at. Because people sitting on their computer and can't really or really don't want to do nothing about it. They just front like they do. So at the end of the day, you take a pyramid of like a Lego or something, sit it on top of one of these squares, zoom out, and you are now right on the continent, right on the energy lines of the continent. And this is something that swings above, think of a strobe light like this. The heavens above, as they call it, it's almost like a strobe light, like strobe lights of energy. That when they pass over these certain points, it like a strobe light, it'll light up with energy. If you get what I'm saying, that's just how I'm visualizing it based on my own work. These right, because 1 and 8, that's what the Nazca lines is showing you at the center. That's why those centers point to 1 and 8 because there's something about them. These revolve. These can spin. That's what people have to realize. This right here, it's all the same, but they can spin. And you know what I'm saying? That's what it's showing about energy. So it's not just numbers, it's showing the truth about energy. That's what vortex math failed to do. The reason that this is all based on the square as well is because a square is always going to be a square. See, with other shapes like triangles, because yes, the triangle is actually within this. You got a right isosceles triangle that's actually within this that you're seeing. You're seeing two right isosceles. It's right isosceles triangles is building up this square. Two 45-degree angles on two sides of a 90-degree angle. A right isosceles triangle. Okay. But that's when you start to cutting it. But everything in its origination is based on the square. When you zoom out, or zoom, the grid and everything that you see back there that I originally had to do and everything that everything was based on was all based on the square. And what I'm saying about the square and its significance is a square is always going to be a square. A triangle in itself can mold and be different type of triangles. It's something special about a square. It's always 360 degrees, just like a circle is, right? But a square itself also, it has strict rules. 4 sides, 4 interior angles, 90 degrees each, all of them. And it can't change. Otherwise, it's by definition not a square. It becomes a rhombus or other weird shapes. So a square is always going to be a square. That's why I chose this, because a square is special because of that. Its definition alone is very strict. Navigation, you need something strict, not something that's going to be switching up and changing up. Circles and stuff. Circles are not used for the same type of measurement as a square is. That's why ley lines you don't see any circles at all. You ain't gonna find The same person talking about ley lines, like I told you, they don't have the right to talk about them because I mean, this and the same people out here saying that the teachers can't be debated. All I'm saying, man, is it's other people to respect out here. It ain't no one man with with no set of answers. And you can't be soft whenever you know you meet your match because, like I'm saying, that's just a great pyramid being talked about right there. This is Angkor Wat, dude. Since y'all be talking about Angkor Wat, it don't matter where you go on the face of this earth. My work, I'm telling you, dude. It's like that's what I'm telling y'all about this whole remote viewing thing. When you remote view, if you were to go up like Grand Theft Auto and zoop up into the sky, and you could see Angkor Wat like this right here, look at this grid right here. When we talk about energy, I said these are the real ley lines that you see me drawing out. These are the real ley lines. The other stuff that you see people talking about, that goes for the globe that y'all see them talking about, those ley lines based on the dodecahedron, I think it's called, those are false. Because if the globe is false, by default, those lines are false. That goes for Brother Sanchez's depictions and falsities of the AE map being real ley lines. Those are grid lines with grid circles, actually, whatever you really want to call them. Those are not the real ley lines, dude. There's no science and there's no measurement or nothing has been done to prove that. Nor can you prove up anywhere in history or show where different sites around the world link up one thing with all of them. And one thing that's in common with all of these sites when it comes down to these ley lines is 45 degrees, period, point blank, of an angle, period, point blank. Great pyramids, get on top of it. They all align at a 45-degree angle. This right here, all aligned at a 45-degree angle. Angkor Wat. You ain't even know. You ain't even talked about it. And that's for a reason, because it's been no significance to you. It's been no significance to the rest of the world because y'all ain't knew it. It's supreme knowledge. These numbers that you cannot do this with any other grid, dude. I don't know how many times I got to tell y'all that, but I know I can show it as many times as I need to. You cannot do this special layout with numbers with any other number grid, smaller or larger. You can't do it. Yes, you can connect them into the center like that, but I'm talking about, look, 4.5 is in the center. That's why this is hot red so that people can see it. You can't miss it. 45. Everything is based on a 45-degree angle. 0 through 9 added up is 45. When you add 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9, which is the numbers that you use on the clock, even though we stop at 12, that's still 1 and 2. We still looping based them seconds when you count them, homie. They all based on a decimal count. Period, point blank. They all based on the decimal count. The same numbers, 0 through 9. All of those numbers added up are 45, period. Halfway in between 9 is 4.5. That's the halfway point, 4.5. That's where we at, 45, 4.5, all of them added together, 45. We right there. I knew it was special, and everything is at a 45-degree angle based on the square when you put it on the square. Because it originally started off with just numbers. I didn't even think to put it on the square at first. This has to deal with the origination. When y'all talk about the original time, 360 days is originally in a year. Come on now, y'all. Come on now. 1 minute, y'all be saying it. Okay, well, it's right in front of y'all face. Oh, now it ain't the truth, huh? Exactly. That's my point. Y'all be tripping on who the truth come from. But the real ones, man, look, man, y'all gonna only show yourself as fake, bro. If you gonna wait until your boy really get on the History Channel to really show your, hey, man, you gonna make yourself look hurt. Because it'll be real funny to see anybody overcome the next. Because we could have all worked together. But y'all, it's a lot of people that want to act ignorant. But it's a lot of people who choose recently to, show support. as well. But you got to pay attention to the fact that a lot of people only show support when certain stuff is going down. And that's not cool within itself. But people always got their chance to redeem themselves. I believe in chances. So we'll see how people do. If not, I ain't tripping. All I know is, man, the fact is your boy right here, PR Corey, if that's what you want to call it, got the facts. Your scientists, can't nobody even debate with it. And when it come down to the real ley lines, I'm the one that's laying it down. It's right here. The other stuff is niggas lying. Lay lying. They lie. They lying. Lay lying. They is lying. That Sanchez, that goes for you directly, buddy. All right, straight up. We're just gonna be real and direct. Okay, on that. That goes for you. There is no way in the world that you are going to sit up here and tell me or try to explain to me that these lines right here are ley lines when these are circles, and you sit up here yourself and say the circles themselves, you can't make circles as ley lines. These are circles, man. Let's be real. Come on, man. You can spit on that. Let's be real, man. This is goofy, dude. Let's be real. Flat earthers need to put in work, create maps where all of these ancient monuments, when you talk about the ley lines, where you got the mathematics all done, let's take flat earth to the next level instead of just saying this map ain't for this. This map, okay, I thought this map ain't for this. This map ain't for that. Come on, man. So what? You obviously ain't got a map for it, but the globalists do. So y'all missing work. They ain't. That's where they got y'all ass at. Cause y'all ain't got it. Y'all ain't got y'all measurements done. They do. Y'all just sit up and call them false. But I ain't seen none of y'all flat earthers actually do the math. None of y'all. Half of y'all actually show symptoms of not being too good at math. You good at it, that don't mean you're not smart, and that don't mean I'm making fun of you by saying that. But everybody got their own area expertise, smarts, period. Intelligence, however you want to put it or look at it. I'm not calling anybody dumb, but I'm telling you, I'm not nobody to play with it. You can't just sit up and rub no bullshit in front of my eyes and try to call it chocolate. I'm just being real. It ain't getting past me. Reality is reality. How you gonna sit up and say on the globe you can't make circles as ley lines? Nigga, it ain't no way in the world you gonna make up this to say that they lines. These is all circles is right here besides the lines that stem from the center. And these lines is going straight out like this, that's over here, that's in the United States. These lines is going straight out down here. That's this one line right here, and this one line right here that's going down through here. Dude, they not connecting to over here like the Nazca lines is showing. The Nazca lines is showing you all of that, and they not the only place that's on the earth. The reason that you hear me showing that and saying that so much is because that's me being focused. And like I said earlier in the stream, every man move different, man. Everybody gonna have their own way of moving. You can't judge the next on how they move. It's all supposed to be about the information, correct? Because that's all that y'all hear me so-called, if you want to call it that or use that word, arguing. That's all y'all hear me arguing. I really be constructive criticizing, debating. But the problem is I hit at a hole where it hurt. I hit where it hurt. And so all niggas can really do is just talk and posse up and act a certain type of way in front of other people and get them to yike up on me. That's all they can really do to make me view you a certain type of way. Straight up. But meanwhile, they can't argue against my work. And nobody will debate it, but I can argue that whether I'm in the chat or whether I choose to get on the panel. The problem is when I've got on the panel, there's been problems in the past. But the recent time, it wasn't too bad. But after that move, when I was in the chat, it just showed me, man, look, bro, if you'll do that when I'm in the chat, man, that just showed me enough. That showed me, yeah, I thought shit, because that was for nothing. I didn't even act up. I disagreed just like I had the right to, and niggas just acted silly. I ain't got time for that bullshit, man. I ain't got time for that bullshit. when I'm sitting up here literally in front of your eyes making history, and niggas who posse up behind one man is literally acting like I ain't doing nothing. You can't, I mean, you can't make this up that I got, bro. Don't you realize if I would have added adding one square would have took the metrics of this architecturally, and if I superimpose this on top of each other, everything come out to be exactly the same. This is why I was telling y'all, if the original count of a clock of a calendar is supposed to be 360 days and not 360 days and not 365 like we own, y'all sit up and talk about them. Okay, their time is fucked up, right? Okay, so why don't y'all give us the real time? Why don't y'all do the work and show the real time? Y'all flat earthers, y'all conscious people. I'm sitting up here doing the work, dude. And then if I change and add any type of tone to my voice, he too emotional. Okay, I'll sit up here and just be a robot. I'll sit up here and just be a robot. I'm too emotional, right? I shouldn't add any energy because if I don't, you don't got no energy. Otherwise, you can never make people too happy. You can't make everybody happy in this world. All I can do is try to play both sides of the fence and make both sides happy sometimes. That's it, period. As far as how I conduct myself, focus on the facts, period, point blank. That's all that really matters. Period, point blank. It's no game, bro. Like, 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 nigga, like this right here in front of your face, it can't be made up. This is why I'm telling y'all, 360 is how much is supposed to be in a year, factually. I just heard even Drez mention this on his channel. Heard your boy mention it too many times. Who the freak then did the work to show the real time? Or considered the fact that if it's 365 and they also changed the calendar as well, and we know that it was the last month of the year is December, which is 10. It was 10 months in a year originally, 360 days in a year originally. And now we got 2 months added on, August and July, and we got 12 months. And we also go by a 12-hour day, right? Why ain't nobody ever considered the fact that the number of hours in a day ain't correct based on that? Because if you got to change everything else, if you change the number of months that's in the year, you also had to change everything else, which suits the 12 aspect. That's that fractal 12 essence, because 12 is a very even number that cuts up. Okay. When we talking about a circle, that's where the 12 zodiac stuff, all, because it ain't really just 12 zodiacs, it's or 12 constellations up there. It's way more constellations. I'm not going to even give you a number because I ain't counted them myself. All I've heard is what other people say is their count, and I've heard different numbers. I've heard 88. I've heard even a few less. I've heard way more even. So I mean, I think, and I've heard endless. Actually, it's really about the perception that you are, how far your perspective. I mean, not perception, perspective. Better to say, So what I'm telling y'all is based on do the etymology. It goes with y'all act like I ain't speaking facts. You got y'all act like I'm trying to act like somebody or something. That's where I say it's a problem. Whenever one person can sit up here and teach anything, I ain't got to sit up here and tell nobody else, give them homage to every time that, I'll give them my homage in the past. It's about what you're doing right now. Are you teaching me anything that I don't know right now? Is there anything that you proving to me that I ain't seen right now in my life? Not at all. Nobody else. I'm showing myself and I'm showing the world stuff that I ain't never even seen in my life. Right now. Literally. But nobody else is showing me literally any. It's because because they're pulling up stuff, videos or pictures that other people have posted. You're giving your opinion about things, which is a new opinion, a new perspective of anything. This right here is on a different level, dude. This is close to remote viewing, bro, on a different, and time traveling. That's why I'm telling y'all, boy, you sleep on your boy. Y'all really sleep. If anybody has slept on, it's me. Y'all hating. It's a lot of y'all niggas haters too, bro. Y'all know I'm the truth. Cause y'all niggas will be on y'all channel and be saying 4 point. This is a shout out to the 4.5 other people and stuff like that. Y'all niggas be getting into it and shit. All type of stuff. I be staying out of it. But y'all know I'm the truth. No lies. It's like I've been through some type of college almost. But but never. I always seen that as a form of indoctrination. I'm showing y'all something ain't nobody on earth seen, man. This is dealing with the gears of time. Consider it's an 18-hour clock that ain't nobody ever seen. In this time. Excuse me. That's the original time that it would have to go by. It would have to be an 18-hour clock. Noon, due to etymology, like I was saying. I was originally saying I'd be losing track of thought. Sorry about that, but noon. Y'all will sit up and listen to one person sit up and do etymology and all of this stuff and drop fireballs. A few of y'all. I'm not gonna, pick on nobody at all. But a few of y'all will do that. Well, noon comes out to be 9, man. Noon, when the sun is right there in the center, right, comes out to be 9. Etymology wise. But also look at this. November, which is the 12th month, right? No, my bad, bro. I told y'all I'm tripping. 11th month, November, which is the 11th month, 9/11. Remember that 9/11. November, which is the 11th month, right? November comes out to be 9. Look up the meaning of November and where November comes from, because November is right before December. December means 10, which is the 12th month. So it's a 2-month rule right there. A slide back. That's where this is taken into account, is because it's 10 blocks. It's through 9. It stops at number 9, but it's 10 blocks. It's 10 blocks all together for every single one. When you don't, because the thing is, you could count it like a pyramid, or I got it set up where you could count it like a pyramid, or you could count it in a circle. Because see, right here, you could count, this is the delta on the bottom, but this is a circle or square, however you want to look at it. You got 0 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's a full square or a circle if you want to consider it that. All right, a full route, circle. Or you could have went over here and counted as a pyramid. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We didn't touch anything in the center. We didn't touch the center points. So that's where I'm showing y'all the 0 and 9, 8 and 8, 1, and and 8 and everything like that. From all of this is like, think of windshield wipers. You know how windshield wipers they pivot, they have a center point and then they pivot, like the end will swipe over to that side. Think about some magnetic motion in windshield wipers like that. That's what's really going on with that, like that right there. All right. And that's where I'm talking about this whole swiveling thing going on. This swiveling with the 1 and 8, because the numbers 1 and 8 is where the numbers 4 and 5 and 0 and 9 touch. That's the only place where polar opposites of colors touch, blue and red. All right. Otherwise, 0 and 9 and 4 and 5 never touch throughout this work. And notice that 0 and 9, or 90, is half of 45. 45 right there is half of 90. Notice that. So, and that's also where that happens at, is right there at 2, where half of 2 is 1, and we got it split as 1 and 1. So right there, approximately right here where my mouse is at, is where you would have, let me see if it can zoom in. Right here where you see my mouse at, this square that you see right here that's black, right here you would have, because these right here is blue. You will have 9 right here and 0 right here, and then 4 and 5 will be right here in this area. But right here, you'll have 0, and then you'll have 1, 0, 1, and 2 will be here in this area. And you'll have 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 will be right here in this area, 0, 1. So like I said, blue will be right here, 4 and 5, which would be red right here. And that's what you have going on up here actually with this. So when I go back to the green one, which I was just on, that's what you'll see. That right there. Right up here. Exactly what I was saying. You got those blues that are right there. You got blue, and then you got blue. You got blue. And then you got 4 and 5 right here. So, which is red. That's the only place where these polar opposites meets. It can be considered as 90, which and 45, because this cuts over here this way. Half of 2 is 1, so that you got 1 and 1. But half of 90 is 45, so you got that cutting into, like that. So, this, man, when I say that this right here is on a different level, man, all of these, every single one of them, see, because when I put this into a digital thing, it would be animated. Every last one of them would revolve perpetually. So think about clock gears. Every last one of these is just, it's like I took a still picture of it, but it's really moving. It's really all of them supposed to be spinning. Every single one of them. So if you can think about that, the spiral motion and everything, that's how everything, so that's crazy. I mean, that's actually crazy because every number would still come out to be in, just like clock gears being sync. Every number touches is supposed to. It's freaking crazy, bro. You really think about that, because that's just one square. Consider a whole project, bro. Yeah, that's a lot of energy. That's why I say, that being, it's all magnetism. It's not just something for fun. It's like, it's not some game. That's literally if we talking about ley lines, that's magnetic energy, guy. That's the real, these are the real ley lines. Which is what I'm telling you. I'm not just telling you that. It's facts. Whenever you get on a map, if you got a continent, let's say, because that's what I'm showing y'all with this right here. Let's say that this green back here turns into blue, which is the water. Okay. Now this is blue back here. And we got this green continent, this green continent. As far as energetic DNA that built these continents that we see. All right. The energetic DNA that built these continents is the very elements, the first elements that we see, right? Which is like the components of the DNA that we see that make us us. What I'm telling you, man, is that these is basically in the same exact placements. If I overlaid this even on the AE map, which is what it's falsely trying to depict, it's just not putting it on the square. And the reason why they put it, what I'm telling y'all as far as flat earthers, man, is because they're keeping this type of a secret from you. That's why I'm telling y'all, think about it. Y'all not really even thinking about it from a holistic way. What's just like y'all say that about wrapping up the globe, buddy? It's the same thing with the AE map. It's almost like, how when you got that lock aspect on a phone, second, you can, I forgot what they call it, double privacy or something like that. You have something basically where you have your password, they ask you for your password, and then it's a second asking for it, another way that it validifies that it's you. Security at that. That whole AE map and everything. Why you think they okay just putting that out there like that? Y'all ever thought about that? Why y'all think it's just out there like that? Because that's obviously a psyop. It's been proved. They put it out there. That's been proven. They put that out there, dude. So what I'm telling y'all and explaining to y'all is that based on you giving even the wrong shape of the map, because you can't, and that you can't navigate with that, that's what keeps you from knowing how this thing could really, how the universe could really be structured architecturally by the creator. Because y'all sitting up here saying that it's rings outside of these rings and everything, which really, honestly, that don't make sense. You can't prove that at all. Y'all can't prove that it's rings that's outside, because it could be like a bubble wrap. That ring, who says it's an ice ring at all? To be honest, y'all can't and ain't proved that. There's no. How can you say that it's an ice wall when they got so-called pyramids that's in Antarctica, which are made of stone? Huh? How you gonna build that on top of an ice wall? Furthermore, this ice wall When does it turn into ground, which is what the bottom of the earth of the ocean has to turn into? Because if the bottom of the ocean is ground, that means that the barrier around us would have to be ground, crust, period. And it's just ice on top of it, if that's what y'all trying to say. But those are called ice shelves. And nobody's filmed a full ring of those to film and say that this is a full ice ring. Don't hit me that with it ain't possible. It would never would be. Anything is possible. Okay. Now with that with the government, nah, that right there probably it'll be hard to do. Yeah, I'll give you that possibly impossible. Possibly impossible, yeah. But at the end of the day, y'all not considering the structure of the universe. Y'all just want to look at it as one way, like it's just rank, just because that's what y'all taking that's out here. And then as soon as y'all find out that it ain't real, y'all want to holler agents and be mad. It just don't even make sense. It don't even make a lick of sense, bro. Halfway at all. That's why I'm showing y'all that this right here, if you were to use this like a map, if I could turn actually, because this right here, you see this number 8 right here, that's what's so dope about this work, man. This number 8 that you see right here that I'm trying to really turn, I wanted to turn it 45 degrees, but once I turn it like this, it is turned 45 degrees. This 8 that's right here. Now we got this right here turned this way like I wanted. So let's act like this whole thing is the continent of Africa. If you put the Great Pyramids right here in the center, you can also consider that rest of the center of the world map that they have. And that's where I'm doing the work with that, because I noticed as well that the center of the world map will put the Great Pyramid right about here at the center. And the rest of the continents, which you have Earth right here, Earth right here, Earth right here, and Earth right here. You have that going on there. North Pole would be up there. So it's different ways that I'm considering and even looking at this map thing be showing when we considering a whole square thing, because I have to consider that everything is navigated by a square, which is what I know for a fact. I'm not going to sit up here when I know that we can't navigate with an AE map like that. That's why I'm saying with FPV, Angels work, they do excellent work. I just don't agree with how they structured it, because they don't have the full context. Because, and I say that based on facts, because they're using the Nazca lines, they comprehend that it has to deal with all of this. They're on the same road as me. They just don't and haven't figured out what that means. All they've done is overlay it and done great work explaining it as far as flat earth cosmology. Me, myself, I know the underlying mathematical code that the whole entire grid of all of the stars was every drawing that they have out there was drawn on. Every line that they have out there. Drawn all crazy like that, pointing from 8 to 8 to 1, all of that crazy stuff. I comprehend what they was doing. Because when you got something like this, that when you superimpose it over it, it just does that much. But if we act like this was Africa, all of the other ley lines that you consider, you got north, because see the north, you see how this right here, you got this center point, you got 9 that's right here. We're going to zoom in on that actually. We got this number 8 that's right here. So we got number 9. You see this number 9 that's right here? That's the same number 9 that this big number 9 that you see right here. It's just the next level up. So we got number 9 right here, and then we got number 9. But if we get right here in the center avenue and we travel up, we're going to end up at the North Pole. Like I say, consider this whole thing is blue water. We're going to end up at the North Pole, which is right here, from this continent area down here within this whole square. Because no matter what I'm getting y'all to realize is that the square and the circle is fractal. Y'all are using the AE map and the circle because y'all see the sun and the heavens above navigating circles. So y'all making the ground down here a circle by default, which you can't just do that. Yes, we navigate around it and everything, and no matter what the center point, you always gonna navigate around a circle and stuff. Being at a point is a circle. But there's a reason that these different religions have a cube. as well that y'all always talk about, or a pyramid at the center that y'all are, or a mountain, a dark mountain at the center that y'all always talk about, which is what you see right there, man. All right, that's what you see right there. So north right here, if you went straight up this, like I was saying, from number 9 on this level and kept on going up, you would end up at the North Pole. So we could act like this right here is Africa, and we'll go straight up from the Great Pyramid, and it'll align up straight up with the North Pole perfectly if you just set it on top of this grid. And then when you consider that the shaft of Orion, that the Orion shaft is at 45 degrees and everything like that, what you call the shaft of Osiris, I mean, put the Great Pyramid inside of here. I said it would be right there anyway. That's what I just said. Do if you put the Great Pyramid right here, let's say that this is Africa right now. This right here is the ocean right here of the Pacific or Indian Ocean or whatever the case may be. You know, because over here, actually, let's say, yeah, okay, we're gonna keep this Africa. Number 8 is Africa, and if you go straight into the center, you know, west of Africa, you'll have China and all of that type of stuff. All right. Straight up north, which is where the Great Pyramid is aligned to north, you will go straight up to the center because this green back here is turned to blue, and this is now a blue earth. This is the water. Great Pyramid on this continent of Africa lines up with north. All right. You just ain't got as much information because on this radar that I told y'all I'm going to invent, y'all looking at it from a level right now. At that point, you can't see enough information. So you're going to need to zoom in. But see, that's where my work comes in. In order to zoom in, I have to draw. So people got to zoom out. So when you zoom out, you end up at this level that we at. And therefore, the Great Pyramid that I just said was right here at this center point to line up with North Pole right here. This is now the Great Pyramid right here because we all on the same number. We on the number 8, just like we was on right there. So we just going to zoom back in. We got the Great Pyramid that would be right here. We could just build it how it need to be. It would fit right in the center here. This is where I told y'all with the whole mirror house effect and everything from one angle with the octahedron. If you get on top of it, it's going to look exactly the same as the side, the front, the bottom, all corners. It's all going to look the same. It's the same exact symbol. That's what you see here. That's what the pyramids are. They all look like that symbol, the X in the center, right? Well, the Great Pyramid, even if you look at it from the side, let's say that this is now the ground, which is what I showed y'all it is, right? I told y'all that in reality, the number 9 and 0, or what I'm showing y'all is this is blue, this is water, and this is the sky, or 0 and 9 is the horizon, period, is what I'm showing y'all. 9 is line, is what I've always told y'all. Not like lying, but 9 is line, Line. So if 9 is line, which is a 180 degrees, 1, 8, and 0 is 9, 180-degree line is right there. All right. So 9 is line. So 9, which is water, is the line right here. From a side view, the whole cosmos would look like this. It would be a line of water, which is what 0 and 9 is showing. And you would have the land which grows up out of it. Okay. This could be looked at as water or it could be looked at as the sky because either way it goes, this right here, the land grows up out of the water. It grows up out of the water and through the sky, okay, through the blue sky. And then we have up here, which is air. Air is on top of the land, okay. On top of that, we have the watts. That's where from right here with 9, 3, 6, 9, all of those numbers, see these two oscillate, just like y'all see the sun and moon oscillate. So right there, out of any numbers, if there would be any numbers that would be the sun and moon, it'll be 3 and 6 in that case, because these two are just like when y'all look at vortex mathematics diagrams that y'all have seen in the past. they've shown it with like a lightning effect that oscillates between these two, 3 and 6, and 9 down here being the center point. Okay, that's where that whole flat Earth number 9 being the center, or the eye, which is where why I put my eye right there. Okay, I is the 9th letter. All right, but anyway, if this is the Great Pyramid, if we just put that in that case, think about this being the Great Pyramid, and like I said, the shafts that are in the Great Pyramid. All of a sudden, these right here, and all of this information that you see right here, think about the shafts that point out from both sides. If you were from a profile view of the Great Pyramid, the Great Pyramid would therefore be, this would be the ground line right here that you're looking at. All of a sudden, this is the ground line, 9. This right here would be the Great Pyramid, just not at its actual angle of the phi angle and everything. And these right here would be your shafts on each side that point to each side. And at the end of the day, everything that you see right here, when we talk about Astraeas and stars, it'll be pointing up 45 degrees of an angle, just like the shaft of Osiris, out to whatever it is that they're. So it's like a kaleidoscope. You can look. You're seeing everything from. Because no matter where you look in this reality, one thing I learned about drawing, because I draw, I'm an artist, as you can see. Not to be smart alecky, but at the end of the day, what I realize is when it comes to perspective and everything in this horizon line, everything and how we look at it is all the same from everywhere. No matter where you walk, everything really, as far as vision wise, it's all molding around you in a way, or at least it comes to, in a way, seem that way once you realize it. Because everywhere that you look at something, if you look at a box if you sit a box in front of you, that box ain't gonna look no different than a building if it was the same exact scale size and you was a different scale. It's just from a different perspective. That's why the saying everything is it got some validity to it behind that statement, at least, or what I'm pointing out. No matter where you look with your vision, your perspective grid and everything is always going to be the same. If I was just to sum it down into simplicity, no matter where you look, your perspective grid of vision is always going to be constant. That's how I'm going to put that. So that's why I'm telling people with this right here, this whole mathematics and everything, the way that this is set up, this puts a person in the availability of being able to map out different continents as well. Large, massive areas based on the fractal essence. And if you actually create technology out of this, yeah, man, you're talking about beneficial. So, and that's why I show what I showed with the dragon radar thing that I was showing y'all. That shit was dope. I don't know why y'all, that shit was dope, man. I'm gonna show it one more time for people. Golly, oh yeah, recent. I forgot. I forget this sometimes. This is what I was saying. Now the dragon radar, for people who don't know, is with Dragon Ball Z, they search for different Dragon Balls, right? And that's what the Nazca lines, if you pay attention to what they was doing, they was mapping something out. They communicating something for somebody to see. They either knew that people was gonna have the technology to see it, to fly up above, or as far as walking on their own land, that's the thing. They had to been able to look into the future in some type of way. I know that's why I've been telling y'all with this whole essence of spirit, because what I'm drawing out, the Chicana is so-called a portal. That's what they say it is. It's supposed to be a portal. Now me, I'm not sitting up here drawing something because I want a portal or open up anything like that. That's why when I'm saying, yeah, what does it look like? What is CERN supposed to be? That's why I'm telling y'all, man. What is the ley lines all supposed to be connected to? sites where I'm telling y'all where portals and stuff was talked about. The Great Pyramids, portals. What is Mario showing y'all? Portals. He going through portals, but he climbing over pyramids. Is y'all getting it? I really don't think y'all are getting it. Mario is literally jumping over pyramids, but he's going through portals. Okay. Portals that look, actually the forts look just like this. It's crazy. This is a big old Mario board. This is a game. This is a game board. You literally are living in a game board, on a game board. This whole thing that you're living in is a game. It's literally a game, and you play to win. You make the wrong choices and you lose. If you make the wrong choice, you might lose your life. You make the right choice, you might advance it. It's all a game, but it's really not to be played with, because we're talking about our souls here. That's where it's not a game anymore. But then and even then, we're just human beings and we have a human understanding, a humane understanding. Nobody has really come back and has stayed here and shown us eternal life afterwards. I'm telling y'all right now, it's too much life in this world for us to sit up and act like reincarnation just ain't possible. Dogs got souls, man. They dreams just like us. Why are we humans? What made us special? What if we was really the bottom of the food, the bottom of this chain, and this is really the start? I don't know, man. I'm just saying because I don't know, man. I'm just saying because that's a deep thought, and I try not to think that deep because that right there can get real deep to where it gets scary. I mean, when you start thinking that deep. Dogs themselves have souls. Dolphins have souls. So many animals have souls. Monkeys have souls. They show despair and hurt just like humans do and everything. Show emotions, happiness. They even laugh. Dogs laugh sometimes. They get ticklish. They feel just like we do. But here we is as human beings, thinking that we so above, reading different books that tell us that we got dominion over different animals. When if we walk outside, really, it's really just our minds and what we produce that make us stronger than them. If we got to go toe to toe with a lion, hand for hand, 9 times out of 10, we know who gonna win. The lion 9 times out of 10 gonna have dinner. If we be real, humans ain't everything that we think. That's why I look at this world and I question things that a lot of people just don't question. Did God or the creator, however people want to name it or call it, would you say that God created us with everything that we really need? Because me, myself, in my opinion, I wouldn't say that God created us with everything we really need. Why do we got to wear clothes? Why do we have to eat? Do y'all question these things? Do y'all realize that these things even matter as far as understanding and comprehending really why we even here? Because the fact that we got to wear clothes, yes, that's actually something important. Don't you realize that's one of the first things that's talked about in the Bible is nudity? It's a reason that that's the first thing that's talked about in the Bible. That's one of the first things that's addressed is nudity, the opening of the eyes and realizing that one is even nude in the first place. Yeah. So it's very meaningful. But why did God not create us with the skin that we need or clothes? Why do we not have skin? We get cold in the wintertime. God knew that there would be seasons, right? We get cold, we shiver. So now we got to kill animals in order to warm ourselves. That's showing evidence that we don't have everything that we need. Now we got to kill animals in order to eat. That's showing me evidence that we ain't got everything that we need, at least in our mind. And at that point, it becomes in the mind. Because fruit and vegetables, if they've been around since the earth began, which I can guarantee they have, that's all that we needed. But people corrupted that. So Comes down to it, man. This, it's really deep when it comes down to it. Like when I'm saying that about nudity, that's important because yeah, people die from different environments and everything. There's different times in history. We got it good, like we got it. We got cars to travel and everything, but our ancient ancestors that are responsible for us being here now, they had to travel in different times when it was drought seasons. They couldn't just stay in one spot. Y'all don't consider that. We got everything so good and given us now. If they had a drought season, they might have to move and migrate to a whole nother land. Okay. And in that case, you might have to walk through a certain mountain range for a whole season to get across it, just to get across it. Getting blisters all on your feet, everything that we getting on our feet. We not created with everything that we need. We got to create shoes just so that we could walk through stuff. God did not create us with everything that we need. We have to eat food in order to survive. Why did the creator create us with nothing to where we don't have to eat? If the creator would have created us to where we don't got to eat, there would be no world where everything got to kill everything. The next thing wouldn't have to kill the next thing if nothing had to eat. Do y'all get what I'm getting at? What I'm getting at is that what I realize about this world is just all that shows that this world is for us to suffer. By default, you're suffering. If you don't eat, you're going to suffer. If you don't put shoes on your feet and you go walking through a certain dictation, you're going to suffer. If you don't do certain things to make up for certain stuff in this world, you're going to suffer. And it's a lot of stuff that we just take for granted. We so used to living in these illusions and buying stuff every day, buying everything. We don't really think about stuff outside of the box like that. And from that type of perspective, that's the reason that it seems like we're here, y'all, is that we're here to suffer or be punished, learn a lesson of some sort. That's what I'm pointing out. Why and where from, I don't know. But look at how many people is here on this earth. And it's a whole bunch of people that's got some or had some learning to do. That's crazy. But everybody's sitting up here acting like they got it all figured out. I ain't coming back here, y'all, this time. All right. It's good to have belief. It's good to think that. I don't want nobody, honestly, to think no different, honestly. Because that's like me telling you to have to be pessimistic. I want people to be happy and everything, bro. But sometimes being woke and realizing the truth, it can really be a disparity in your life. It really can. Sometimes, man, just sleep good, bro. As long as you ain't bothering anybody and you is growing in the right places that do matter and it's gonna help the world, uh man. Because it's once you think deep enough on some stuff and you realize certain stuff, it opens doors to realization on stuff. To you saying stuff, realizing stuff, character changes, all type of stuff, man. We're here to suffer. Thing that we do, this dollar bill makes it easy. If there was no dollar bill, if there was no religions, everybody with this many people in the world would be suffering, bro. People wouldn't function right. And I know that's crazy. I just said that, right? Because I just mentioned the stuff that we're saying we actually, as a community, as communities, will have to do without or want to do without in order to change the world, right? And fight back against the system, right? The dollars. You like y'all done heard me talk about. But I realized something about y'all, man. It's a dog eat dog. Even with this money and these subscribers, people are already dog eat dog. Y'all already showing jealousy, man. As is. Niggas showing jealousy like little girls. We supposed to be grown ass men, as y'all say. Y'all still showing symptoms of jealousy like little girls, bro. of another nigga talent. Some, it's pathetic. So at that point, I mean, just examine it and compare the two. Says enough to me. I mean, it's just wild, man, how things is set up in this world and how people think. It's I don't even know what to say else, man. It's all I know is, man, when it comes down to it, and if we gonna go to it, let me go through a quick through, because the niggas are also saying if the ancestors ain't say it, well, the ancestors ain't got this depiction on their wall for no reason. They ain't got this depiction on their wall for no reason. It's just in stone. So I ain't got to really put it in stone. It's already in stone. It's just not the exact same thing. But the same numbers and everything is there. No numbers and no X in the center. In between it. If you wonder what I'm talking about this grid that's back here. This is Mayan. So when we talk about Mayan cosmology and everything, whenever we pull up the Mayan cosmos, we always see drawings. This is the closest you're going to get to actually seeing it. Why would they put the same thing over and over again is what y'all have to realize. I'm not just pointing this out for no reason. You think they not saying nearly the same thing that I'm saying to y'all? It's not just like that for no reason. If this right, think about what I'm saying to you. If you pull up Mayan cosmology, if I pulled up ancient Mayan cosmology, you're going to see steps where they have step cosmologies on the bottom and inverted steps on the top. They have steps on the top, a step pyramid on the top, basically, as the top of the cosmos, and inverted on the bottom. I could literally pull that up. I can go to the internet and I can pull that up for you. Just a second. I'm pulling it up now. Just 1 second. All right. Mazal, shout out to you, man. Good to see you. Now, there we go. And there we go. The first one to pull up is right there. You see it right there, and then you see this right here. So this is what I'm saying. It's showing that there in the background. I just pointed y'all out with the steps is this right here that you see. They're both the same too. So if you see how they communicating that same cosmos over and over again, think about how big the world is, and they saying that this right here is a depiction of the world or the universe. So they multiplying that over and over and over again in the back. And this right here, for whatever reason, all of these ancient cultures all have one thing in common, and that's the serpent, this snake stuff, this snake symbology for whatever reason. A lot of people that say that's the chakras and stuff like that, but we talking about cosmology here. So whatever they communicating with this snake thing is something dealing with the whole universe, not just a person, individual. All right. Because all of this right here, this all is the universe. This cosmology, that's all the universe, not human. All right. So if anything, if you ask me, the closest thing to a serpent that's in the sky is the Milky Way galaxy. All right, that's one thing that I'm thinking about right there. But any other type of instance where there's a swirling or a snake in the sky, or some cosmic snake or something like that, that's what I'm thinking of. Because you also have this spiral being made with squares up here, and like I told y'all, the Fibonacci sequence is all based on the square. It's all based on the square, and every single spiral is going corner to corner like that. All right, all of it. So I just wanted to show that, man, when it comes down to the ley. Now, think about that in the ley lines and all of the spiraling and everything, like I just showed y'all. All of my work spirals from it, not just like that right there, but all throughout it. Crazy. So, I mean, it's everywhere. So, that's what I wanted to show y'all, man. The true ley lines, not the nonsense, not lying, and keeping it real. And I'm gonna go ahead and bounce. Peace out to everybody who came through and anybody who learned anything and dropped a comment. Until the next time, it's till the next time. Brandon, peace out. Good. You was the other one. All right. All right. Bet, bet.